Back by popular demand, it is time for another ship with me video. My name is Maria and I am a reseller on Poshmark and eBay. I'm a part-time reseller on Poshmark and eBay. And I literally just counted these like 2 minutes ago and I can't remember how many are in here. I'm sorry. I think there's like 15 or 16 orders from this weekend that I needed to get out. And I was like, you know what? Let's do another ship with me because y'all seem to like it. So per usual, we are going to go downstairs in the dungeons of my basement and pull my orders, and then we will go upstairs into my guest room and we will pack them all up. I will tell you how much each item sold for, how long it was listed, where I got it, and just all the important things, all the things you guys would want to know. So don't forget to subscribe and let's go. All right. Here we go. It's not quite as crazy down here because I took some stuff to Once Upon a Child, but I need to take more. But we've got most of the Christmas boxes upstairs right now. We need to bring them back down. We're all decorated for Christmas. I did not pre-turn everything on. So here's my bins. As you guys can see, I also just added one additional bin. Usually I have like my big sweaters and bulky stuff just mixed into those, but I'm thinking of adding a few here in a tower so that like my bulky sweaters and stuff could just be all in those specific bins in their own naming system. And then everything over here eventually will just be in bags. I also finally got some random hard goods and stuff listed. I'm very proud, including that like Magnolite right there. So we'll see how those do. But let me get set up and we'll get to pulling these orders. I also just remembered that we actually have first 2 things over here to sell. These are all listed. So these are really, really nice. I'll show you these upstairs, but those just sold. And then one more pair, I think, is in here. Here you guys see all of the stuff I need to get listed. That is my death pile, although I don't really think of it as a death pile. This is just the things I need to get listed because I'm a part-time reseller and I can't always source when I want to. This is a pile from the Colorado bins when I went out there recently. So that's up and coming probably maybe next on my channel. I have a thrift with me and I will do a haul for you guys. So stay tuned for that. Okay, what else? Okay, we want these little Crocs boots right here, the Handle It rain boots. We'll grab those. All right, put this back in here. And all right, back over to the clothes. I remembered to bring my bag down here this time. Aren't you guys proud of me? I think I had to run back up both times the last time. So I forgot that the first one was actually in that bin that I just showed you guys. So I grabbed that and now I can get to everything on all of my other bins. Lift with my legs. Let's go. Usually I can like see on the side where something is, but sometimes I can't, and I have to do the fun part, which is dig through and find it. So never great when the very first one I have to dig to find. Ooh, got it. I have 3 things in the next bin, which just makes my day because I don't have to get into 3 different bins. They're all in the same bin, which is great. All right, so the only problem is it's the one all the way in the bottom. I don't need any of the top 3. When I do have a lot that are similar, like I have a bunch of these American Eagle jeggings, if you remember from my Swap Me hauls, I do always make sure I verify the style name and the size when I'm down here. because we don't want to send anybody the wrong stuff. So this is the right one. You can see that the bins are pretty full right now, especially on this half because I just added a bunch of new inventory. Like I literally topped them all off a couple days ago, so they are extra full. But that also means that I've been listing a lot of stuff, which is good. I just need it all to sell now. All right, I'm looking for a FootJoy vest. The hardest ones to find are the ones that are like dark blue and black, because I have a lot of those types of things, and the lighting is, you can see, is absolutely terrible down here. So those are always the most frustrating ones to pull as I'm trying to find them. This, as you can see, is not going well. Let me make sure I'm in the right bin. I think I am. Oh. FootJoy, got it. Did you guys see that? The whole thing just like tumbled. So that's great. That's great. Alright, we lost about half of it. Real life is a reseller, guys. What are we gonna do? we roll with the punches. One more. Then we got something upstairs. All right, we've got one more pair of shoes that is upstairs, and then we'll get to packing, so let's go. There we go. Here's what we're working with. All right. Oh, there's my labels. All right. We also, there's my chair. We've got one more pair of shoes that I am so thrilled to tell you about. You will see why. So stay tuned for that. But these are potentially my most exciting sale. And yeah, I'm excited to tell you about it. All right, let's get set up. All right, we are back. We are ready to get packing. I wanted to tell you about a couple sales before we get packing in those. I packed this one up this morning, and then I was like, you know what? This is silly. I should do a ship with me. So then I stopped. So this right here is a pair of Kamek like snow pants, and I don't have all the details written out for this one, but I actually bought these in Thriftsmith. For those of you that came along with me in Thriftsmith, thank you for all the wonderful support. And these ended up selling really quickly. So Kamek have only sold in their snow boots, but if you see any of their snow pants, definitely look, give them a second look, because these were listed at $35. I sent out a Poshmark VA offer of $31 plus discounted shipping, and somebody grabbed them. So that was a really nice sale over on Poshmark. Also, as I was literally walking up from the basement to this room to get set up for this portion, I had 2 more additional Poshmark sales today. So it was a pair of Orvis like gray hiking pants that I also picked up in Thriftsmith, if you happen to remember. So those sold really quick. They sold with my like 30% off offers that I do run every week. And then I sold, crap, what was the other one that just popped up? Oh, I remember. It was a Born Primitive, like, turtleneck, athletic-y sweatshirt. I picked that up at Prime Thrift, I think in a thrift with me a while ago. It was my first time selling Born Primitive. So that one sold within a month or two also. It was also part of that 30% off deal, so somebody scooped that up for a great price also. All right, I typically tend to do all of the easier stuff at the beginning, and then we will come to the shoes in the end. So let me move these around. How have your sales been? Mine, honestly, my November was pretty rough. I had some really good weeks and I had some really good sales, but overall my November was down. So I'm really hoping that in December things are going to start picking up again. My October was really good, but it's really such a roller coaster, isn't it? All right, so if you're just joining me for the first time in a ship with me video, hi, welcome, I'm so glad you're here. I ship all of my items in these like bread bags, like literally from the store. And all I do is I take them, I fold them, I kind of wrap them as nicely as possible, and I put a thank you sticker on them. So for anything that's already nicely in these bags, I'm not gonna take them out for the ship with me. Please forgive me for that, but I'll pop a picture up here so that you know what I am shipping. All right, this first one is an Eddie Bauer. It's like a Fair Isle printed pullover sweater. This I was finally happy to see go. I like picking up Eddie Bauer when I can grab it at the bins, especially in their sweaters. Their cardigans do really well for me. But this sat for quite a while. It eventually sold on eBay. I accepted an $18 offer. I did get at the bins, so I only paid $1.43 for it. It was listed for 632 days, and I ended up making $16.66. Anything that can fit in these nice eBay mailers right here that I get free for having an eBay store subscription. That's what I use like my quarterly allowance on, you could say. I love this size of bag. It's my favorite size because probably like 3/4 of what I sell on eBay fits in this size bag. So I always spend my money on this one, and it's nice and easy. All right, so that is going out. We're just gonna throw them into a pile and I will deal with them later. Next that also sold on eBay are these Lafayette 148 trouser pants. When I picked these up, if you watched my vacation vlog, like thrifting with me in Virginia, it was a fun video. I really enjoyed making it and showing you guys a little bit of window into my like real life. I picked these up at a thrift store there, a local like hospice thrift store. So it was a great find and they sold really quickly. I didn't know what to think because I have some other Lafayette 148 pants that have been sitting that I think I got at the bins, but these ones sold quickly. So they sold on eBay for $32. I got them at that thrift store in Virginia. My average cost of goods was $6.02. They were only listed for 11 days and I made $21.88. So Lafayette 148, definitely hit or miss, but when it tends to sell, it sells pretty well for me. It sells for a good value. I mean, $32 for these, $6 into them. That's a really good return on my investment. And if you can find something more substantial, especially like the blazers, the professional wear, the outerwear, that can do even better. I had a couple J-Gel sales. The first one is this blue knit sweater. I picked this up in a recent thrift with me. It was kind of basic. It wasn't the best, like it wasn't a wool or cashmere sweater, so I kind of took a risk on it, and it paid off, surprisingly. So this, I accepted a Poshmark offer for $25. I got at that Prime thrift store for average cost of goods of $5.31. It was only listed for 13 days, and I made $14.69. So I was a little surprised by that. J-Gel usually can sit a little bit longer, but my J-Gel has been selling recently. I feel like J-Gel, Chico's Torrid, Talbots, they all go in waves, and like one of them will be selling really well and the others will like be a little bit stagnant. And for a while, J-Gel was one of the stagnant ones, and now over the past couple months, J-Gel has been selling really well. So I'm not sure what that phenomenon is, but it is what it is. Okay, so this is just going in the USPS Tyvek mailer. Anything that sells on Poshmark, I always just use the USPS priority packaging. So I have all of my boxes back here. You can kind of see I have some of the padded mailers that I will use. You can ship anything in the flat rate boxes, the regional boxes, whatever you want, as long as it's the red and white mailers. Don't use the blue and white mailers because those are express and that does not count for Poshmark prepaid labels. All right, next is a pair of American Eagle denim. I was very excited for this to sell. This sold overnight and it was a full price sale. I listed my American Eagle denim for $28 on Poshmark, And yeah, it sold full price. This was one of the like 13 or 14 pairs I picked up at that recent swap meet, if you watched those videos. And these were a 0.0 short. So I was kind of expecting them to sit around for a little longer since they are a smaller size, but they sold great. So since I got at that swap meet, I had $0 into it. It was listed for 25 days and I made $22.40. So I had somebody ask in the comments recently, like how I'm not weighing things right now. I pulled them out of my inventory and I'm just putting them right in my mailers. That is because on Poshmark, you get a prepaid label and I don't have to weigh them. It doesn't matter as long as it's not over 5 pounds. There are some times that I will weigh a package or boots, or especially if it's like a bundle or something, to make sure it's not over that 5 pounds, because then I would need to upgrade my label, of course. And on eBay, I have everything pre-weighed. So when I'm typing into my inventory, before I photograph, I type in, I have a spreadsheet where I list every single item individually, and that's when I weigh my item. So when I'm printing my label, that's when I'm putting into eBay the weight of the item so that I know, do I need a 4 ounce, 8 ounce, 16 ounce, 2 pound, 5 pound. They come in like standard ones. So if I have an item that's 6.2 ounces, I'm gonna put in that I need an 8 ounce label. I don't do calculated shipping based on where you live on eBay. I just have one standard flat rate. So I will list something as $4.99 shipping or $5.99 shipping, $6.99 shipping, $9.99 shipping, depending on how much it weighs. All right, here is the next item. This is a J-Jill skirt, and this one I'm gonna take out of this little thing because as you can see, it kind of flops around. If it's not sturdy and I can't have it nice and pretty wrapped in there, usually I can see like the tag in the very front. I'll try to find one that's like that. Like these are nice, they're sturdy, they're in the bag. You can see that they are Lucky brand right there. So it's kind of a nice presentation. This one wasn't gonna do this. So I'll show you this one real quick. This is a J-Jill, just like a midi skirt, maxi skirt, depending on your height. Very nice, flowy, and it's got some decor buttons down the front. I sold this on Poshmark for $21. It was another of my Sunday sale that I ran. I got this at a local thrift store that does 50-cent days. I love picking up the things of the 50-cent days. I haven't been to one in a while, mostly because I have a lot of inventory and I haven't needed to go, but maybe we'll try to get one early next year on my channel for you guys because you seem to enjoy those. So I only paid 50 cents for this. It was listed for 140 days and I made $14.28. So again, another J-Jill. I had a day last week or 2 weeks ago that I had 3 J-Jill things sell in one day. If you're not following me on Instagram, it's at Life with Maria Nicole. I will sometimes post like when I'm shipping that day, so I'll take a picture of it and then I'll list the brands just for people that are curious what's selling for me. And I remember that day having to be like J-Jill X3 to be like, I had 3 J-Jill things. So this is how it looks when I do wrap something up or the bigger, bulkier things that I need to send out. Okay, this is another Poshmark sale. So let's get the label on. And we'll get it going. I do have a mailbox that's outside of my workplace, and sometimes when I only have a few items and they can fit inside of the blue mailbox, I will just ship them there so that I don't actually have to go to the post office that day. And I'll always be kind of excited, like, yeah, it's a mailbox day, I don't have to go to the post office. But this is definitely not a mailbox day. So it's fun because my husband like knows my terminology. He's a great sport with everything. And he'll be like, is it a mailbox day? And I'll be like, no, it was a great sales day. Like I have too many items or I have bulky items. So it's always a good thing for my sales if it's not a mailbox day. But at least if I only had 1 or 2 sales and they're boring and small, it's a mailbox day. And so it saves me a bit of time. All right, these next things are a pair of Lucky jeans. Another item that I cannot decide if I like selling or not. Sometimes I like selling them, sometimes I don't. I tend to like selling men's Lucky jeans more than women's Lucky jeans, in my opinion. But this one on eBay, I accepted a $22 offer, and I got these at that same local thrift store that does a 50-cent day. It was not 50-cent day, but my average cost of goods was $3.54. These ones were actually only listed for 62 days, which is pretty fast moving in my opinion for Lucky. And I made $15 even on those. I feel like my Lucky jeans for men do typically sell. Oh no, my thing just ripped here. Come on, eBay. Now I gotta decide if I want to tape it or if I just want to get a new bag. But the problem with that is I'd have to get a new label. So I don't know, tell me what would you do? I think I'm going to tape it because sometimes I can peel these off, but others will not peel off very quickly, or very easily, I mean. All right, let's see. Let's see if we can fix this and have it be secure. If it's not secure, I'll take it back out and we'll start over. But yeah, I have had another pair of Lucky Jeans that has just sat and sat and sat, and I can't get it to sell. And it seems kind of the same style and size as the other, so I can't figure out why that one is not selling. All right, let's see if this is gonna work well. Let's put another one here. I don't know if this was just a bad batch of these eBay mailers or if I'm trying to put things that are a little bit too wide in them, but I've had this happen to me once or twice before. But usually if I just put that tape on there, it keeps it safe and I don't have to get a whole new mailer and print a whole new label. All right, here's that FootJoy that I was having such trouble finding downstairs. So as you can see, you can kind of see the logo right there. I know it's probably glaring on the package, but the presentation looks kind of nice in that bag. So I'm just going to put it here, put a sticker on, and get it shipped out. I accepted a $25 offer on Poshmark for this one. This was, I think, listed at $35, but I'd had it for longer than I ever expected to. So I was really happy to get the $25 offer. I got this at a local Salvation Army near me for $5.70 that day. It was kind of random because this was over by like the women's dresses, just like sitting on top of a bin of pillows. Like somebody had clearly just like dumped it and put it back. I was like, ooh, that's FootJoy. I like selling FootJoy, and it was a good size. It was a men's vest. I forget what size it is. Can I see? It's a men's size large, which is really great, but it ended up sitting for 235 days. So I'm not sure about that, but I made $14.30 from this. I did just pick up a couple FootJoy items in Thriftsmiths. I picked up a polo shirt. I picked up some, was it shorts? I don't know. I know I at least picked up a polo shirt because I can picture the floral of it. So we'll see how those ones do. I have a pair of FootJoy shoes over here that are just off camera, and I cannot get them to sell, so I don't know. Okay, do I have more? I'm just seeing that I ran out of those eBay. Let me see if I have more. Okay, I'm not sure if I do. They might be downstairs, but I've been telling myself I need to do a restock, so this is a good reminder. I will go downstairs and order some right after we finish this. All right, the next pair are a Talbot's wool, like a window pane style trouser. I do pretty well with Talbot's trousers. I will pick them up at the bins or at, 50 cents or $1 type prices. I like selling them. This was a really old tag. It was definitely not a modern day Talbot's tag, and it still sold pretty well. So I can't complain about that. I guess I'm using these gray ones. Actually, those are really boring. We'll just use the pretty ones. The older label in Talbot's, if it's a good piece, does not actually detract me. I know a lot of people will only buy based on how current the tag is, which is probably good, but I, at least in my experience with Talbot's, just the classic, especially the like professional wear, that doesn't seem to matter. Especially in pants, especially if they're like a wool style. I'm not sure why. But I don't think I told you the details on this. I'm sorry. These sold on eBay. They sold for $19.01. That was an offer I accepted. And I saw when I was typing the costs into my spreadsheet that when they added shipping, it came out to $25 even. So that's probably why they offered me $19.01. I also got these at 50 cent day. They were listed for 357 days though. These specific ones sat around longer than most of them. Unsure why. And I made $15. Next is a Tory Richard men's button-down shirt. This is a vintage Tory Richard. I like selling Tory Richard in general. This was the first time I had sold vintage. It took longer than I expected, but I don't know, the comps looked like these sell decently well, so I grabbed it. So I'm not really sure what to think. The modern day stuff has sold really well and really quickly for me, so take that for what it's worth. I accepted a $25 offer on Poshmark. I think I also had this one listed for $35. I got this at the bins. It was $1.24 average cost of goods that day, but it was listed for 323 days, and I made $18.76 on this one. I am going home for the holidays soon, which means that I am hopefully going to work in a trip to the bins in Columbus, Ohio, which is where I'm from, with my mom. We always have so much fun. There's a chance my sister might still be in town. I'm not sure. But a bins trip is certainly in my future. I think I mentioned earlier in the video that I still need to show you my Colorado bins trip from when I did go out to visit my sister recently. So we've got a lot of bins content coming. If you're into that sort of thing, I'm pretty excited. All right, the next are another pair of trousers. These are Calvin Klein trousers, and these are those like micro pinstripe, which are so hard to photograph. The photographs always look terrible no matter what I do. If you have any tips for that, please let me know. But I was very excited when these did sell, because the photographs just look terrible until you get to the close-up pictures, where you can actually see the striping. So these sold on Poshmark. I think I had them listed for $25. I might have dropped the price at one point, and somebody accepted my 10% off offer with discounted shipping. I also got these at 50-cent day, but they had been listed for a long time. These were listed for 315 days, and I made $15.08. So definitely a long tail item, but I like selling Calvin Klein professional wear. It's my favorite category to sell in Calvin Klein. I also really like selling the women's cocktail dresses, typically do well for me. And Calvin Klein items like that I'll pick up when they're between like $1 and $5, especially those dresses like on the $5 side, and something like that more just than like the $1 or $2 or bins prices. All right, this is another one I'm going to wrap because they're too slouchy and it'll look weird. So these are a pair of just like wide leg. Where's the side here? There they are. Wide leg, paperback, like pull on waist, just like trouser pants. These are Montauk. I think these are sold at like, what, TJ Maxx? Yeah. These I got in a bag of clothes from my neighborhood. I think I've mentioned that I'm in like a give and take group where I'll give things to other people and then I can pick up things from other people. So these were in a bag of clothes I got for myself and my family, but these being a size large just did not fit me. So sometimes I'll just donate things. Sometimes I'll put them back on the group's website and see if somebody else wants them. These I decided they were cute. They were kind of stylish. I think this is a really like classic style, but also like modern, capsule wardrobe basic, all those things. So I did end up listing it. I only listed it for, I don't know, like $15 or $18, and it sold in my like Sunday 30% off sale. So these ended up only selling for $10 with discounted shipping, which means I made $5.03 because I had no cost of goods into them. But I mean, they were only listed for 94 days, and that's $5 I didn't have before. It's a sale. Hopefully maybe it's a positive review once the person gets it. And even if I had taken these to like Plato's Closet or something, assuming they even did buy them, I would have gotten like $2 or $3 for them anyway. So $5 is not too bad for these. All right, let's get my sticker here. I'm ready to wrap Christmas presents because I feel like I'm wrapping presents like every day in this business. All right, Poshmark. Get this one here. Definitely have quite a bit of stuff to take to the post office tomorrow. No complaints there. All right, now let's move on. Oh, we've got one more clothing item that I need to package up. Let's see what we're gonna put this in. All right, this is a North Face hoodie. It's a like quarter zip. It's like the North Face version of the like chinchilla fabric from Patagonia. It's green. I picked this up in a thrift with me recently at Prime Thrift. If you are recognizing this, I think I had it listed for $45. I got a $30 offer for it on Poshmark, which I did accept, and my average cost of goods that day was $5.31. It was only listed for 14 days, and I made $18.69. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to put this in that, or if I'm going to, got a fuzzy, or if I'm going to put this in a box. I think this is going to fit in just the normal tie bag, so we don't need to use a box. I hear people say this incorrectly. The tie bag mailers, these ones right here, these are recyclable. You do need to be careful with your area and what options you have for recycling, as with any recyclable material. But most recycling centers accept those with the like plastic bags. Like if you're doing grocery bags or other type of thin plastics, that's the category that those go in. So definitely check your guidelines for what your county or your state does and does not recycle, but that's what this mark is. It means that you can't just throw it in your normal recycling bin, but that you can treat it as a plastic bag. So if you have anything that has plastic bag recycling, so my county recycling has a big bin that's just the plastic bag stuff, you could throw those in there. They also are pretty durable, so I have reused those if I've gotten some shipped to me, and then I just seal them with tape to make sure that they're secure, and I've never had any complaints about that. All right, I think this is gonna go in here, but let's test it before we, yeah, that's fine. Plenty of room. All right, did I tell you 14 days, $18.69 profit? Get this in here. I'm good to go. I do not add extra tape to these. I know I see a lot of people do that. That's fine. I have never once had a complaint about these like ripping open or any sort of problem. So I'm not going to waste the tape for both cost and environmental purposes. There's really no need to, in my opinion. All right, so let's talk about some of the shoes. The first thing are these really, really beautiful Resell boots. These are in absolutely fantastic condition. Look at the bottoms. These were great. I was really excited when I found these. I've sold these on Poshmark for $63. I had them listed for $75, and I think that was a 10% off offer with discounted shipping. That sold overnight last night too, so it was a really great thing to wake up to. I got them at a Goodwill resale store. Now, I do feel like I remember paying like $10, $12, maybe up to $15 for these, but my average cost of goods that day was only $4.40, so that is what we're working off of. These were listed for 193 days, and I will make $46 on this item. All right, since these are Poshmark, I am going to pull out my large flat rate box right here. We'll put that together real fast. Like I said, you can use any of the flat rate packages, and these, most post offices keep in stock. So I don't have to pre-order these on the website and wait for them to come to my house or anything like that. They're just always there. So that's nice. When I use a few of them, I grab like 5 at a time because I'm not shipping with them, you know, every day. And it's pretty easy. Some of the other size boxes that I have back here that we've talked about, I do have to order from the website. All right, I'm gonna put these in here. I'm gonna use a bit of, I don't fall over, void fill here on the top. And then to make it look pretty, we're gonna add a piece on the top. I always like it to have a nice kind of flat layer on the top when they open it. Put the sticker right there. And then we'll get the top closed. I also know I've said this before, but I do one piece of tape on the top, one piece on the bottom. And again, I've never had a complaint, so there's no need to waste the packaging. If a box is ever like maybe slightly bulging, of course I'll add reinforcement. If it's maybe an Amazon box that seems loose or a box that I'm reusing, I'll add as much reinforcement as I need to. I'm not opposed to adding that, but if you don't need to, why do it? All right, next are these Crocs Handle It rain boots. I have sold these quite a few times, and they just seem to be a fast seller for me. I think it's just a style that people like and trust, and probably as their kid grows, I would imagine they just go and get more. They never sell for a lot, so I probably paid more than I should have for these, but I knew they were gonna sell fast, and they did. So these sold on Poshmark. I accepted a $15 offer. I was happy with that. I have a lot of boots right now, and I really don't like storing them. So I got these at 2nd Avenue, which is a big thrift store near me. I'm trying to figure out which box. I don't know if they're gonna fit in this one. I might have to use the one I just used. We're gonna test it. But my average cost of goods was $5.24, but they were only listed for 19 days, so it really was a fast seller. And I only made $6.76, but I don't mind that at all. Okay, so these are perfect. right like that. So let's get this box made up too. This is the medium flat rate box, which again is also always in stock at your local store, your local post office. I do use these wider ones, the 1092, the 1095 boxes that are self-sealing, but some of these that are kind of wider than fit in those, we will do it with these flat rate boxes. These seem to fit perfectly well in there. Fold it across the top like that, put my sticker in. So there you go. And that's it. All right, I have saved the best for last for you guys. I'm kind of being a little facetious when I say this, but quick story time because I haven't told too many stories during this video. These are a pair of Stuart Weitzman suede chocolate leather boots. They are pretty, I don't know if they're quite in today's style, but I picked these up forever ago, and I was just excited I found Stuart Weitzman. I ran some loose comps that, you know, I'm like, wow, Stuart Weitzman can sell really, really, really well. See that on the bottom. So my original list price, and I only know this because I always put in my inventory what my original list price is, because I type it in my inventory, do my comps, and then when I go to list it, I already know what I'm listing it as. I originally listed these on Poshmark and eBay and Kidizen at the time for $99. And I have been slowly, over the course of literally years, dropping the price down, down, and down. So today, when I saw that these sold for $27, I cannot tell you how excited I was. They have been sitting over on that rack for 158 days. I got these at Prime Thrift Store when I do most of my Thrift With Me videos. My average cost of goods, oh no, I'm sorry. I wasn't even averaging my cost of goods. That's how long ago I got these. My cost of goods was $3.50, which means I probably were 50% off, and they had them at $6.99. And I'm going to use one of these bigger 1095 boxes actually for this one. We'll get them wrapped up while I'm talking. They also, one of the laces has a bit of wear, one of the spots, like some rub wear to it that I took pictures of, I disclosed, but again, so they were slightly damaged, and I still listed them for $99. So yes, these were listed for 150, I'm sorry, did I say 100? 1,058 days, and I made $16.08, but it gets even better. So on my inventory, it's obviously 1 to N of everything in my inventory. And when I move from year to year, I take out all of the sold inventory and then I carry over all of the unsold inventory. So for here, 3 years later, after things have been taken out, this was still number 8 on that spreadsheet of like 2,000, over 2,000 because it includes unsold. And a couple of the things that were listed longer have sold. But so as it stands today, this was the 5th oldest item in my inventory. 5th oldest item. I made $16.08, and I am so excited to get it out of my life. So I already have some padding or some void fill in those just to keep them safe while they were in storage. And now I am going to just wrap these up individually. I don't want to completely bash Stuart Weitzman because I've had some really good Stuart Weitzman sales. I sold a pair of like their black suede leather, like knee-high or over-the-knee boots. And I want to say they sold for over $100. So, but I never, ever, ever should not have started these at $99. They've had decent amount of interest over the years. And honestly, if I had had them listed more reasonably, they might have sold. But I was still learning. I'm still learning every single day in this business. You know, every time I make a sale or every time something sells faster or takes longer than I think it should, I learn from that. And I try to adjust for the next time. I was just talking to my husband last night of me trying to think about, okay, what did I learn in this year? What adjustments do I need to make to my stores and to my business moving into the next year? So just a word from, I can't even say a word from the wise. Like, I'm sitting here as a part-time reseller that's been doing this for a couple years and hoping you're getting some insight out of it. But a word from the like pseudo-wise, a word from somebody that's always trying to continually learn. Do some introspection. Take a look at yourself, take a look at your sales, take a look at your inventory, what's selling, what's not. How long have things been selling? Are you keeping track of that? And what are you gonna do next year differently than you did this year? Because if it's nothing, I don't know, maybe you're killing it, maybe you're doing amazing, but I feel like even if you're killing it, there's always things to change. Add some of this in the top here. And let me know. I'd be really interested in knowing what, if any, changes you are planning to make, because myself and others that are watching this video might learn from that. So write it down in the comments. Let's do some group think down there about what changes you plan on making. All right, so that is the last thing. Okay, a quick PSA I've mentioned on my channel. I am planning on doing a question and answer. People have been asking for that in my YouTube comments and in my DMs over on Instagram. I've never really done that because I don't know, I just figured nobody really cared. But enough people are asking that I am going to do kind of an Ask Me Anything question and answer session. We'll probably do a chatty work with me while I'm photographing or doing something. I'm not quite sure yet. So leave your questions down in the comments. What do you want to know? Ask me. It can be personal, it can be work related, it can be whatever you want it to be, and I will answer it to the best of my abilities within reason, as anyone, you know, would. You can also send me a message over on Instagram at @LifeWithMariaNicole. I will probably put a story up a couple times before I film the video that's also asking, hey, ask me anything. I'll be featuring it over in a YouTube video up and coming. So stay tuned for that. That'll be coming after the new year. I'm really excited. I'm excited to share a little bit more about myself with you guys, whatever you want to know. So that is it for today. I've got a nice big pile that I need to gather up here and get that off to the post office tomorrow. As always, don't forget to subscribe. If you liked the video, if you stayed this long, please give it a big thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Bye.